Okay, so you know how we all use black pepper? Like every day.
Right.
We'll get this back in Roman times. It was so valuable that they actually used it to pay soldiers, like their salary.
It's true.
Peppercorns is cash.
Okay.
Wild, right. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We're talking spices worth more than gold. Welcome to the Deep Dive, where today we are going deep, deep into the world of herbs and spices.
Yeah, and I think people will be surprised that we're not just talking about, making dinner taste better.
Right.
It's way bigger than that. I mean, the research we found, it's crazy how much these natural ingredients have shaped the world.
For real.
So we'll be kind of traveling through history, from ancient uses to what science is discovering now.
Yeah, and like how to actually use them today, the health benefits, and also, I think importantly, some of the risks. Because there are some things to watch out for.
Oh, for sure. It's not all just sunshine and roses. Definitely not. But that's why we're doing this deep dive, right, to get the full picture. So our sources are super interesting. We've got stuff about ancient Egypt, like how they used herbs for embalming, the epic spice trade routes. I mean, this was global trade on a huge scale.
Oh, absolutely. Empires were built on this stuff.
And even up to modern research that's backing up a lot of what ancient cultures already knew.
It's incredible, right? Like they had this intuitive understanding of the power of plants.
Totally. So our goal today is to pull out the most interesting, most useful stuff from all this research so you listening can be like an urban spice expert by the end of this.
That's the goal, yeah. Give everyone the knowledge to really appreciate these amazing natural wonders.
Exactly. Okay, so let's start with the history. I mean, we got to go way back.
Yeah, let's do a little time travel.
Okay.
It's mind-blowing how central herbs and spices have been to human civilization forever. Yeah, think about ancient Egypt and mummification. They used herbs like thyme and cinnamon, not just for the smell.
But because those herbs, they have natural preservative qualities.
Oh, interesting. So they actually helped keep the bodies intact.
That's right. We're talking millennia. And also, like you said, in so many cultures, spices were more than just for cooking.
Oh, yeah.
They were status symbols, power, wealth. Imagine that. Your social standing could be affected just by owning like a handful of cloves.
It's so different from how we think about them now. It's just like, oh, yeah, there's my spice rack.
Exactly. Totally different mindset.
Okay, and then there were the spice trade routes. It wasn't just people, bartering at a local market.
Yeah, no, it's a serious business.
This was like global exploration, huge ships crossing oceans.
Absolutely. The demand for spices like pepper and cinnamon, it drove people to explore. That's how new continents were discovered. Economies boomed.
Right. I mean, that's how Columbus ended up in the Americas.
Exactly. Looking for a faster route to the spice markets. But of course, it wasn't all positive.
Yeah.
There were conflicts, exploitation.
Yeah. The spice trade had a dark side, for sure. But it's incredible how much it shaped the world.
Oh, yeah, it was a driving force.
Okay, so fast forward to today. And one of the things that I find so fascinating is how modern science is like proving what ancient cultures seem to know instinctively.
Right. They were onto something.
They were. Like, researchers are identifying the exact compounds that give herbs and spices their health benefits. It's almost like we're catching up to ancient wisdom.
Yeah, and validating it. It's pretty cool.
It is. Okay, so we got to talk about some of the surprising historical uses.
Okay, yeah, let's get into it.
Because, we had mentioned this before, but I'm still stuck on Roman soldiers getting paid in peppercorns.
I know, it's hard to wrap your head around.
Like, what would you even buy with peppercorns?
Well, back then, it was a form of currency. It was that valuable. More than just a seasoning.
Wow.
And cinnamon in medieval Europe. Forget gold. Cinnamon was the ultimate gift. Kings gave it as a sign of, like, extreme respect and favor.
Wow, it was like the ultimate luxury item.
Absolutely. Only for the elite.
Okay, and then there's nutmeg. Now, this one's a little trippy. Apparently, if you eat enough of it, it can make you hallucinate.
Yeah, large doses, it's a hallucinogen.
And this is kind of dark, but our sources say that prison inmates used to abuse it?
Yeah, there are accounts of that. I guess they were trying to escape. Mentally, at least.
I mean, I can kind of understand it, but it's definitely not recommended.
No, not at all. It's a reminder that even natural things can be powerful, and dosage is key.
For sure. Okay, and then going back to the Egyptians,
Yeah.
using thyme and cinnamon for mummification, they didn't just pick those randomly.
No, they knew they were doing. Like, thyme has antimicrobial properties, so it helped prevent decay. And cinnamon, too. Plus, the aroma, it was like a Very sophisticated approach to preservation, even if they didn't have the scientific explanations we have now.
Right, so they were basically harnessing nature's chemistry. Okay, so before we go any further, I think we need to address the herb versus spice thing. Because I know I use the terms interchangeably.
Oh yeah, a lot of people do.
So what's the actual difference?
So basically, herbs come from the leafy green parts of the plant. Think basil, oregano, mint, thyme, parsley, cilantro.
Got it.
And you can use them fresh or dried. Spices, on the other hand, come from other parts of the plant.
Okay.
So seeds like cumin or coriander, roots like ginger or turmeric, bark like cinnamon, or the fruits like peppercorns.
Huh. So like a cinnamon stick is actually bark.
It is.
I never thought of it like that.
And spices are mostly used dried, often ground into powder.
Okay, that makes sense. So you wouldn't really sprinkle dried oregano on your salad?
Not usually, no. You'd use fresh for that. But you might use dried oregano in a pasta sauce where it cooks for a while.
And ground cinnamon on my toast.
Exactly. So the way we use them is often different too. Herbs are big in cooking, of course, but also teas, home remedies, aromatherapy.
And spices, more for seasoning, blends, sometimes preserving food.
Right, because of their antimicrobial properties. And of course, both have been used in traditional medicine for a long time.
So just to sum it up for everyone listening, herbs leaves, fresh or dried, basil, oregano for cooking, teas, remedies, spices, seeds, roots, bark, fruit, mostly dried or ground, cinnamon, turmeric, black pepper, and good for seasoning, preserving, and medicine. Did I get that right?
Nailed it.
Okay, good. Because I need to keep this straight.
Right.
Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about why herbs and spices are still so relevant today.
Okay, sure.
I mean, yeah, they make food taste good,
Yeah.
but there's got to be more to it than that, right?
Oh, absolutely. So much more.
Like what?
Well, even that flavor thing is huge. They give us this incredible range of natural flavors so we don't have to rely so much on salt and sugar.
Which, let's be honest, most of us eat way too much of.
Yeah, and we know that's not good for our health. So herbs and spices, they let us enjoy delicious food without going overboard on the unhealthy stuff.
Makes sense. I mean, why add more salt when you can use, like, cumin or coriander to give your food that extra tinting?
Right. And cinnamon, oh my gosh, it adds such warmth and depth to, well, everything.
I love cinnamon.
Okay.
Okay, but beyond taste, what about the health benefits? You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, and this is where the science gets really exciting. Research is constantly showing that herbs and spices are packed with antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds, antimicrobial agents.
So they're not just good for our taste buds, they're good for our bodies, too.
Exactly. And it's
Okay.
not just like a folk remedy kind of thing anymore. We're actually understanding the mechanisms, the specific compounds that are doing the work.
That's so cool.
It really is. And the applications go way beyond cooking. Herbs and spices are used in herbal medicine, aromatherapy, skincare, even cleaning products.
Okay, so timing is everything in comedy, right?
Right.
And apparently it matters in cooking, too, especially when it comes to herbs and spices. So, like, when should you add them to your dishes to really maximize their flavor?
That's a great question. As a general rule, whole or ground spices, it's better to add them early in the cooking process.
Okay, why is that?
Because the heat helps to release their essential oils. And those oils need time to infuse into the other ingredients. It's like you're waking up the flavors and letting them blend.
So it's about giving those deeper flavors time to develop.
Exactly. Now, herbs, some of them are a bit more delicate.
Okay.
So heartier herbs like rosemary, thyme, those can handle longer cooking times.
Got it.
But the more delicate ones, like basil or cilantro, you want to add those at the very end, or even just use them as a garnish.
Okay, makes sense. So, like, you wouldn't want to throw fresh basil into a simmering sauce.
Right. Too much heat can destroy those delicate flavors.
The spices early, delicate herbs at the end.
Got it. Okay, now I'm curious. What are some of the most popular herbs and spices used worldwide? The real all-stars.
Oh, good question. So for herbs, you've got basil, of course, a staple in Italian cooking, perfect with tomatoes.
I love basil.
Parsley, super versatile garnish, plus it's packed with vitamins.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Cilantro, big in Asian and Latin American food, and there's some evidence it might boost the immune system.
And mint. It's in desserts, drinks, savory dishes, even used for digestion. Those are some of the heavy hitters in the herb world.
They are definitely regulars in my kitchen. What about spices?
Well, black pepper is the undisputed champion. It's the most traded spice globally. And it not only adds flavor, but it also helps our bodies absorb certain nutrients.
Huh.
Then there's cinnamon, which is warm and sweet, and research suggests it can help regulate blood sugar and fight inflammation.
I knew cinnamon was good for you.
Oh, yeah, it's a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Cumin, with that earthy, nutty flavor, it's essential in so many cuisines. Mexican, Indian, Middle Eastern. And then there's turmeric, the bright yellow one, which contains curcumin, a super potent anti-inflammatory.
I put turmeric in everything. Okay, so it's clear that these little additions to our food can have a huge impact. And speaking of impact, let's talk more about the health benefits.
Okay, yeah, let's dive in.
Because it's one thing to say, oh, this is good for you, but I want to understand how it actually works.
Right.
So inflammation, we hear that word all the time. And it seems like so many health problems are linked to it.
They are.
So turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, those are all supposed to be good for reducing inflammation.
That's right. And we're not just talking about like a sprained ankle kind of inflammation.
Right.
It's chronic inflammation, the kind that's happening inside your body over time. And that can lead to all sorts of issues.
Got it.
So turmeric, with its curcumin, that's a big one. And its absorption is actually boosted when you combine it with black pepper.
Oh, really? So the two work together?
They do. It's because of a compound in black pepper called piperine. Ginger has these compounds, gingerols and shogiels, which also fight inflammation and are especially good for muscle and joint pain.
I definitely reach for ginger when my back is acting up.
It can be really helpful.
Yeah.
And rosemary and cinnamon, they have polyphenols, which also have anti-inflammatory effects.
So it's like this whole army of natural compounds working together to keep inflammation in check.
It's a good way to put it.
Okay, and then there are antioxidants. Everyone's always talking about antioxidants.
Right. They're the superheroes of the cell world.
So which herbs and spices are the best sources of those?
Oregano, cloves, and thyme are all fantastic. Antioxidants basically help protect your cells from damage caused by free radicals.
And free radicals are.
They're like these unstable molecules that can wreak havoc in your body.
Got it.
And what's cool is that in terms of antioxidant content, turmeric, cloves, cinnamon, and oregano actually rank higher than a lot of fruits.
Wow, seriously.
Seriously. So you're getting a powerful dose of protection with just a sprinkle of spice.
I'm loving this. Okay, what about fighting off bugs like colds, flus, infections, any natural warriors in the herb and spice world?
Oh yeah, definitely. Garlic, oregano, and thyme all have antimicrobial properties.
So they can actually help kill bacteria and viruses.
They can, and they've been used for this purpose for centuries, long before modern medicine.
That's amazing. So it's like having a natural pharmacy in your kitchen.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, now my brain could always use a boost.
Don't we all?
Are there any herbs or spices that can help with focus, memory, that kind of thing?
Sage and rosemary are both known for their potential cognitive benefits.
Really?
Yeah, research suggests they can help improve memory and cognitive function. There's even some evidence that just smelling rosemary can make you more alert.
That's awesome. I'm going to keep a sprig of rosemary on my desk from now on. Okay, what about the immune system?
The immune system. That's a hot topic these days.
It is. So what can we do to keep ours strong?
Well, echinacea is probably the most famous immune booster.
Uh-huh.
But ginger and garlic are also great. And holy basil, which is interesting because it's also an adaptogen. Meaning it helps your body cope with stress.
And stress is bad for the immune system. Right?
Exactly. So holy basil kind of tackles it from both angles.
Clever. Okay, now, a less glamorous topic, but an important one. Digestion. Are there any herbs or spices that can help with, tummy troubles?
Oh, for sure. Peppermint, fennel, ginger, and cumin have all been used traditionally for digestive issues.
Like what kind of issues?
Well, peppermint can soothe an upset stomach, ginger can help with nausea, cumin can ease bloating, and fennel is good for gas.
Wow, so they're like little digestive superheroes.
You could say that.
Okay, so earlier you talked about inflammation, and you mentioned that turmeric is especially good for that. But you also said something about black pepper.
Oh, yeah, they're like a dynamic duo.
Okay, explain that.
So curcumin, which is the active compound in turmeric, is a powerful anti-inflammatory. But our bodies don't absorb it that well on its own.
Oh.
But when you combine it with black pepper,
Mm-hmm.
there's a compound in black pepper called piperine that significantly increases curcumin absorption.
Huh. So it's like black pepper unlocks turmeric's superpower.
Exactly. And ginger also has potent anti-inflammatory properties. It's got these compounds, gingerols, and shogiels, which work in a different way but are also very effective.
Especially for muscle pain, right?
Yeah, research has shown ginger can be really helpful for that.
Interesting. And rosemary and cinnamon also have those polyphenols we talked about earlier, which are good for reducing inflammation.
That's right. So it's like all these different compounds are working together to fight inflammation on multiple fronts.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of different body systems. What about the heart? Are there herbs and spices that can help keep our ticker in tip-top shape?
You bet. So garlic and hibiscus, some studies suggest they can lower blood pressure. Cinnamon might help with cholesterol levels. Garlic can also help prevent blood clots. And hawthorn is traditionally used to support the heart muscle.
Wow, so many heart heroes in the spice rack.
It's pretty amazing.
Okay, now I'm fascinated by the brain. Besides the memory-boosting stuff we talked about with sage and rosemary, are there other herbs or spices that are good for brain health?
Yes, definitely. Ginkgo biloba, it's known to enhance blood flow to the brain, which is good for overall cognitive function. Rosemary, besides the memory stuff, also has carnosic acid, which might protect brain cells from damage. Sage, like we said, is good for memory, and gotu kola may actually help grow new brain cells.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is. Research on this is still ongoing,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of potential there.
I'm definitely going to be incorporating more of these into my diet. Okay, so blood sugar. It's a big issue for a lot of people.
It is, yeah.
Are there any natural ways to help regulate blood sugar levels?
Yes, several herbs and spices have shown promise in this area. Cinnamon, fenugreek, bitter melon, turmeric, they all seem to work in different ways. For example, cinnamon might help improve insulin sensitivity, while fenugreek might slow down carb absorption.
Okay, so they can be helpful, but probably not a replacement for medication.
Right. It's important to talk to your doctor if you have any concerns about blood sugar.
Definitely. Okay, so detox. It's a buzzword these days.
It is.
Do any herbs or spices actually help your body detox?
So dandelion, cilantro, milk thistle, chlorella, those are all thought to support the body's natural detoxification processes.
Okay. But our bodies are pretty good at detoxing on their own, right?
They are. We have amazing systems in place.
So these are more like supporting players.
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, now healthy skin. Everybody wants that.
Absolutely.
Are there any herbs or spices that can help with that?
Aloe vera is great for soothing and healing the skin.
I use aloe vera gel all the time.
Chamomile can calm inflammation. Turmeric, with its antioxidant powers, can help even out skin tone. And rosehip is full of vitamins and fatty acids that are good for collagen production.
Oh, wow. I need to get me some rosehip.
It's definitely worth checking out.
Okay, so we've talked about healthy skin, but what about just feeling energized, like without the caffeine jitters and crash?
I hear you. So for an energy boost, ginseng, maca root, rhodiola, and ashwagandha are all good options.
Okay.
A lot of these are adaptogens, which means they help your body handle stress.
And stress can zap your energy.
Big time.
Okay, so those can help combat that.
They can.
Now, with cold and flu season always lurking,
Don't remind me.
are there any herbs or spices that are especially good for respiratory health?
Yes, several. Thyme can help reduce coughing. Eucalyptus oil, you can use that in a steam inhalation to help clear your airways. Licorice root can soothe a sore throat. And millen is traditionally used to help clear mucus.
So many respiratory remedies right there in the spice cupboard. It's amazing.
It is. Nature provides.
Okay, now I know that some herbs and spices are supposed to be good for mood and stress.
Yeah, that's another area where they shine.
So which ones are the best for that?
Lavender, holy basil, lemon balm, and chamomile are all known for their calming effects.
So like a nice cup of chamomile tea before bed.
Exactly. They can help you relax and unwind.
I love chamomile tea. Okay, what about weight management? Any help there?
Green tea, cayenne pepper, ginger, and black pepper have all been linked to weight management in some studies.
Oh, so?
Well, green tea might boost metabolism. Cayenne and ginger can have a thermogenic effect, which means they might increase calorie burning. And black pepper, remember, it helps your body absorb nutrients better.
That's right. So it can enhance the effects of other beneficial compounds.
Cool. Okay, so we've covered a lot, but are there any other health benefits we haven't talked about?
Oh yeah, there are tons.
Like what?
Some herbs are used to improve sleep quality. Others can help fight infections, relieve headaches, even strengthen bones and joints.
No way.
Seriously. Valerian and chamomile are great for sleep. Lots of herbs and spices have antimicrobial properties that can help fight infections. Peppermint, feverfew, and ginger can be used for headaches. And herbs like nettle and horsetail, along with turmeric and alfalfa, are good for bone health.
Okay, that's incredible. But with all these benefits, there have got to be some risks too, right? It can't all be good news.
You're right. Just because something is natural doesn't mean it's 100% safe for everyone in every situation.
Okay, so what are some of the things we need to be aware of?
Well, allergic reactions are a big one. Cinnamon, turmeric, and coriander are common culprits.
So like skin rashes, that kind of thing. Yeah, it can range from mild irritation to more serious reactions. And some spices, especially if you eat a lot of them, can cause digestive upset. Chili peppers, black pepper, garlic, those can all irritate your stomach.
Yeah, I can see that. What else?
Some herbs and spices can thin your blood. Garlic, ginger, ginkgo biloba. So if you're taking blood thinners already, you need to be careful.
Got it. So definitely talk to your doctor about that.
Absolutely. And some can affect hormone levels. Licorice root, fenugreek, mokra.
Oh, wow. So if you have any hormone-related issues, you need to be extra cautious.
Exactly. And then there are some herbs that can potentially stress your liver and kidneys, especially in high doses or if you use them for a long time. Comfrey, kava, and concentrated turmeric extracts are examples.
So moderation is key.
Always. And then there's the issue of interactions with medications. St. John's wort is a classic example. It can interact with antidepressants, birth control pills, blood pressure meds, all sorts of things.
Wow. So it's not just about avoiding certain herbs. It's about being aware of how they might interact with other things you're taking.
Exactly. And even something seemingly harmless, like taking a lot of turmeric and ginger together, could increase the blood thinning effects.
Okay, good to know.
Blood sugar is another thing to be careful with. Cinnamon, fenugreek, bitter melon, they can all lower blood sugar, which could be dangerous if you're already taking medication for diabetes.
Definitely something to discuss with your doctor.
For sure. And pregnancy is another time to be extra careful. Some herbs are not safe during pregnancy. Pennyroyal, mugwort, and sage are some to avoid.
Wow, so much to keep in mind.
Yeah, there's a lot to consider. And some herbs and spices can make you more sensitive to sunlight. St. John's wort and some citrus oils are the main culprits there.
Huh, good to know.
And even things like ginseng, guarana, and black pepper can overstimulate some people and disrupt sleep if you have too much.
Okay, so moderation is definitely key here.
It really is. And certain groups, like young children, pregnant women, older adults, and anyone with pre-existing health conditions, they need to be extra cautious with herbs and spices.
Okay, and I think another important point is the quality of the herbs and spices you buy.
Absolutely. It's something people don't always think about.
Right, like you just grab a jar from the grocery store and you assume it's fine.
But unfortunately, there could be issues with contamination, heavy metals, pesticides, even stuff that shouldn't be there at all.
Oh, wow.
So it's crucial to buy your herbs and spices from reputable sources.
Okay, so look for organic, high-quality brands, basically.
Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb. And remember, in most places, herbs and spices are regulated as food, not medicine.
What does that mean?
It means they don't go through the same rigorous safety testing as drugs do.
Huh, I never thought of that.
So basically, it's buyer beware.
Okay, so given all these potential risks,
Right.
what are some general guidelines we should follow?
Well, first of all, do your research. There's a lot of information out there.
Right.
Start with small doses of anything new to see how your body reacts.
Good advice.
Be very aware of potential interactions with any medications or supplements you're taking.
Definitely talk to your doctor about that.
And, as we said, buy high-quality products from brands you trust.
Okay, and when should you definitely talk to your doctor before using herbs or spices, especially for health reasons?
If you're pregnant or breastfeeding, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're on any medications, even over-the-counter ones, and before any surgery, it's always better to be safe than sorry.
Good advice.
And if you're concerned about specific herbs, some of our sources actually list higher risk ones and safer alternatives.
Ah, that's really helpful. So for everyone listening who's now like super inspired to use more herbs and spices,
I hope so.
where do you even begin? It's a little overwhelming.
I get it. Start small. Choose maybe 5 or 7 herbs and spices that you think you'll actually use.
Basil.
Basil, oregano, cinnamon, turmeric, rosemary. Those are all good ones. Experiment with them in your everyday cooking.
Okay, that's doable.
And make sure you're storing them properly. Airtight containers, away from heat, light, and moisture. Label them and date them so you know how old they are.
Good tip. I'm guilty of not doing that.
And don't be afraid to get creative with combinations. There are some classic pairings like basil, oregano, and thyme in Italian cooking. Or cumin, coriander, turmeric, and garam masala in Indian cuisine.
Ooh, those sound good.
And for fresh herbs, you can preserve them by air drying, freezing them in oil or water, or even infusing them in olive oil.
Nice. Okay, so now I'm ready to cook. Any tips for getting the most flavor out of my herbs and spices?
So for whole spices, grind them right before using. That releases all those amazing oils.
Okay.
You can also toast whole spices in a dry pan for a minute or two until they get fragrant. Just don't burn them.
Okay, I've definitely done that before.
For ground spices, you can balloon them in hot oil at the beginning of cooking. That helps release their flavor.
Oh, that's a good one.
And for fresh herbs, bruising them a little before adding them can also help release more of their oils.
So lots of techniques to try.
Yes, and remember the general rule. Fresh herbs at the end, dried herbs earlier.
Got it. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Culinary uses, wellness applications, potential risks, and how to get the most out of our herbs and spices. But I'm curious, are there any specific medicinal uses that are really backed by science?
Oh yeah, lots. For example, oregano oil. Some studies have shown it has powerful antibacterial properties, even comparable to some antibiotics.
Wow, seriously?
Yeah, pretty incredible. Ginger is another one. It's been proven to be effective for reducing muscle soreness after exercise and for nausea, like morning sickness.
I've definitely used ginger for nausea.
Cinnamon has shown some promise for helping regulate blood sugar in people with type 2 diabetes. And peppermint oil is well known for helping with irritable bowel syndrome. And it can also be really soothing for headaches.
So it's like these traditional remedies are now getting scientific validation.
Exactly. We're finally starting to understand the mechanisms behind what people have known for centuries.
That's so cool.
It is.
Well, I feel like we've done a real deep dive into this incredible world of herbs and spices.
We have.
It's so much more than just, adding flavor to food.
It really is. It's history, it's culture, it's potential health benefits, but also potential risks.
For sure. It's about being informed and making smart choices.
Exactly. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your health.
So to everyone listening, now that you have a better understanding of all these powerful compounds and herbs and spices, how are you going to use this knowledge?
Yeah, what are you going to try?
Maybe a new recipe, a new tea blend, or just paying closer attention to those little jars in your spice rack. Whatever you do, remember, moderation, informed choices, and listen to your body. And maybe, just maybe, after this deep dive, you'll look at that simple sprig of parsley or that pinch of cinnamon with a whole new level of appreciation.
And who knows, maybe this will spark your own deep dive into the world of herbs and spices. There's always more to discover.
Absolutely. Happy exploring.